episode here on the Love Cause podcast. This is episode 8, Dating Compatibility. This will be the first episode that showcase my skills to be able to provide dating compatibility analysis and optimize you for dating, optimize women for dating, for their desired mate. So check it out. And if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to book, I have free consultations and I also have paid consultations. So check out the link in the bio, link in the description, and I'll see you soon. Hey, what's up, y'all? We got another one. So her name is, what do you go by? What is that? Pretty CEO, HBB. So you wanna just introduce yourself?
Yes, I introduce myself. I am Kiara. I am from a small town called Bentonia, Mississippi. A lot of people don't know where that is, but it's in the country, but it's still valid. I'm a senior at USM. I am 22 years old, and I'm just here on Love Cause to, share my opinions about relationships.
Okay. All right. So lucky for you, you can share your opinion, and we can also get you a understanding of where you stand as far as relationship compatibility. I don't know if you single. Are you single?
Yes, I am.
Good. So before you leave here today, you'll be able to understand whether or not you have some issues that you might need to fix in order to be a better fit for the person you want to be with, so
Okay.
to speak. So, do you have any strong opinions before we get started on relationships that you think needs to be talked about?
Yes, my opinion about relationships in 2023, I just feel like nobody's trying to love like on a serious note. Nobody's trying to learn to love or, get to actually know a person. Everybody's just hooking up these days and eventually just stopping talking. That's my opinion about relationships in 2023.
And this is from your experience or your observation?
Both.
Both. So whenever you talk about your experience, well, like what was the situation where, or what was the reason why you feel like the guy wasn't in it for love?
I was talking to this guy earlier this year, and he basically, he was very manipulating. But at first, I thought he was very loving. He came off as very caring. So, that was me. That was for me to let down my guard, and he begged me to let down my guard. But once I let down my guard, it was a whole totally different person. So we just stopped talking gradually and went from like actually going on dates or trying to date one another to just linking up to have sex. So I felt like that was his narrative the whole time, to just, try to lure me in with a couple of dates and then, just do his own thing, but still wanted relations with me.
And he was able to lure you in and get what he wanted.
Yes, he took me to the NBA game.
So it sounds like he didn't have any intention of being in a situation with you for love or a relationship with you for love.
Yes, and I said, "What are your intentions?" I kept asking, "What are your intentions?" And he was telling me, to be with you for the long haul. And his actions were totally different from what he was saying.
Man, that's important. You can say one thing, but if your actions ain't aligning with what you're saying, then yeah, you gotta be smart next time to be able to intersect a person's actions with their, what they're trying to communicate. And a lot of women get finessed these days because they lack the ability to be able to intersect those, how they relate, so they don't get screwed. But how old was the guy? Was that your last, encounter, last relationship?
So he was 25.
25.
Yes.
Well, typically guys that's around that age kind of struggle to get into serious relationships because they're not really at their purpose. They haven't solidified themselves in their careers. They really haven't figured out what they want to do in life. So at the age of 25, I can kind of understand why those type of guys or those guys in that age range, aren't, compelled to get into a committed relationship. They will lead you on and they will, try to have sex with you. And unfortunately, a lot of women are willing to allow a man to have sex with them before they really, can assure that this guy's in for a committed relationship. So, so let's talk about demographics. What age is your desired mate? Like now that you know what you know, based off your experience now and moving forward, let's try to build the ideal guy. The guy that you want to be with. What is the desired age?
Yeah, definitely not anybody my around my age range. I don't want younger guys, or I definitely don't want anybody younger than me, and I don't want anybody 20, 21, 22, 23, or 24. Definitely not 25. I'll say about 32 and up, stopping at 42.
Okay. Stopping at 42. All right. That's good. What about do you have any preferences regarding like religious beliefs or practices?
No, I don't really care. But
Okay.
I would like somebody that loves God,
That love God. I
Yeah,
mean, is that a Christian, Muslim? Does it matter?
Christian, Christian.
Christian man?
Yes,
No, okay. So you prefer your desired mate to be a Christian.
yes,
Are you a Christian?
yes, I am.
Okay. Well, Christians don't usually, have sex before marriage.
I'm a progressing
You're a
Christian.
progressive Christian.
Yes.
Okay, then. I don't know what that is, but all right. So, what's up, Terica? Shout out to Terica joining the live. Shout out. Hey, when you join the live, put a comment in there so I can know you, so I can recognize you and acknowledge y'all for supporting the show. Appreciate you, Terica, for showing up. All right, so let's look at relationships and communication preferences. Obviously, your pad, the guy that you just talked about, y'all had a disconnect. You had a miscommunication on what the dating terms were or what y'all intentions was. So, what communication style do you find most appealing in a relationship?
Um, mm, the most appealing communication style to me is face to face talking, trying just to get understanding better in person, not through a text message or on the phone.
Okay. So face to face, you don't like to text out. You don't like to text it out. You like to talk it out.
Yes.
All right. So are you one of the types to, for example, I've had this experience before where a woman would feel like I'm supposed to know that she liked this and that, or she desired this and that, or she preferred these things. Are you the type to communicate that to him, or you expect him to, automatically know,
No,
how you feel and what you want?
no, I'm the type to communicate how I feel. You know, I typically just let them know straight up how what I feel about this and what's bothering me. It might come off wrong sometimes, but I'm still working on that. I just expect equal energy. So if I'm giving you my all, telling you how I feel, I don't want just a okay or a dry response back. I want you to collaborate on what I'm saying.
Oh, okay then. Shout out to Fluffy Go. Appreciate you coming in from Prince Ellis Live. She's a good sister. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to team up with her. Shout out to you, Goat. Sorry, but yeah. So let me just paint a picture for you real quick. Let's say me and you are dating.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm on my way home from work, and I'm saying, look, I'm hungry, man. I'm about to stop and get me something to eat. And you say what?
I would
You say
say,
okay, right?
yeah,
And then I'm like, all right. And then I get off the phone with you and I come home, but I didn't bring you nothing. Are you the type to get upset because he didn't ask you, did you want something to eat while I'm out? Or are you the type to say, oh, since you're going to get you something to eat, why don't you get me something to eat?
Yeah, I would definitely say since you're going to get something to eat, you can just give me something as well.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay. Because
shame.
a lot of women, they would, some women would even say, no, I'm not hungry. But then when you bring the food, then they want to eat some of yours, or they'll feel upset that you didn't bring them nothing anyways.
Yeah, I'm not that type.
And that's important in the communication because those could throw people off, relationship dynamics off. So, because some women may think that men are supposed to read your mind and know what you want, but as long as you're practicing clear communications with your partner at all times, it'll allow everything to run smoothly. So, what about are you okay? Are you looking for a partner who prefers open and direct communication, or someone who's more reserved and expressing their feelings?
Open, definitely. I think it's
Oh,
very attractive for a man to express themselves.
well, I will tell you, a lot of men are kind of reserved whenever they're expressing reserved when they express their feelings. So that might be an issue with you. I think women are more open with their emotions and expressing their complaints and problems. A lot of men are more logical and they just, oh well, and they just try to push through, even though it kind of upsets them. So uh, you might want to be a little bit flexible on that one.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. That's just my recommendation on that. And then just to go back for the Christian thing, if you say you want a Christian man, just to try to touch back on that before I move any further, you know that these men require women to support, their goals, their dreams, and be submissive and cooperative. Would you say that uh you are?
Yes.
Okay. So like if y'all had kids, would you accept full responsibility of nurturing the children?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. So I guess a Christian dude would be a good fit for you. Well, what about physical attributes? Are there specific physical characteristics or features you find most attractive in a potential partner?
Um, just a man that does like manly things. So I feel like as in, keeping the grass cut, things of that nature, fixing what needs to be was broken. Just things of that nature that men usually would do, typically do.
But when I meant my physical characteristics, I mean like his body type,
Okay, you mean like tall, short? Okay, yeah. I do not like short guys. More anybody shorter than me. They have to have like pretty teeth or a pretty smile. I know that might sound crazy, but that's just my preference. Tall with a pretty smile.
Tall with a pretty smile. How tall?
About 6'0" and up.
6'4" and up.
No,
And how tall
six.
are you?
I'm 5'6".
Okay. So your man got to be 6'4" and up.
No, 6 foot and up. 6'0"
Six
and up.
foot and up. Okay. All right. I guess that's doable. Most men are around on average around 5'9". So if you do decide to date this way with these kind of constraints, you might limit uh you might limit your reach, your options. Because it might be a guy that's willing to date you and be the desired mate you want, but he's 5'10", he's 5'11", So maybe be flexible on that. But what are your deal breakers and must haves? Like, what are some red flags that would make you absolutely leave a relationship? Like, I gotta leave. I can't be here.
Okay, let me see. It would have to be definitely like saying that you're gonna fix something. Like if I have a problem with something and then we talk about it, we discuss it, and then it happens again. I may let it slide the first time, and maybe even the second and third time too. But after a while,
Can
I
you,
just
can you give me an
and
example of what
like just say
he
like not responding to my text messages. I would say like if I'm trying to communicate with you and then you don't respond or you ignore my messages or whatever, and it becomes a habit, then I just take that as a sign that I need to fall back. just leave. I would leave then. And definitely, if a man is entertaining more than one female and I'm knowing about it, I would leave as well immediately. If a man doesn't prioritize me, give me attention, like I said with the text messages, and just not just being nonchalant. That gets me because I'm a very loving person. So I expect some kind of emotion or feelings to be shown towards me.
So basically, if he don't prioritize you,
Yes,
so let me ask you this: do you work?
I do.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
Okay. So when you link up with this desired mate, do you expect him to carry the load financially, or are you willing to go 50-50?
Willing to go 50-50, definitely.
Is that
I
what you want, 50-50, or you want the traditional or modern relationship?
I mean, I mean, I don't know about that one because I feel like men, I know that women say men's supposed to carry the load. Well, some women feel that way, but I really don't feel that way. I don't want my partner to get overwhelmed with the the financial responsibilities around the house or whatever. So I would definitely pitch in on that. I love to work. I'm very hard working, so whatever. I don't see I don't want that to be one sided. That's how I say. I don't want that part to be one sided.
So you want to bring something financially to the table, so y'all can both build
Yeah,
together. Okay.
definitely, and we can enjoy life, vacations, and everything like that. If both of us have the same mentality, then I don't feel like we anything can stop us.
But do you have any preferences regarding your desired mate's career or occupation? Like
No, as long as he's a
he
breadwinner.
can work at Walmart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like it's not always about where you work. It's about how you save the money that you get from the job that you're working at. A lot of people don't have money management skills, so that's why they struggle and live from paycheck to paycheck. I worked at a younger age. I worked at a job paying me $10 an hour and getting paid every week, and my paycheck was like $300, and I saved up a lot of money from that. And when I got out of high school, I was able to move my own apartment from saving so much money up at that job. So I just feel like it's all about money management.
So you want to do to be faithful. You want to
Yeah,
do to prioritize you and all this other stuff, but he can work at Walmart
yeah.
as a career.
As a career, no, I mean not forever. Wait, no, actually I take that back because if you work at Walmart for a good time, you can go up the ladder. You can get in with corporate. You can get a promotion. So they do have a lot of high paying jobs even at Walmart. Just saying,
So are you saying that you desire him to have a high paying job?
a good paying job. I mean, I feel like he's.
What's the salary for what's the desired salary amount? How much did he need to be making?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
It
matter.
don't matter.
No,
So he can work at Walmart and push carts.
I didn't say that now.
If you don't matter, if he work at Walmart and it don't matter what he make,
He got to be doing something at Walmart that's gonna pay okay. They got a lot of good positions at Walmart. That's what I was saying. Like, if you want to make it out of career, then don't just stay. He could start out as a car pusher, of course, but gradually, like 2, 3 years later, or a couple months pass by, he don't need to still be a car pusher. He needs to be trying to, go up the ladder. So don't just stay there. If you're gonna stay at a company for a long time, try to make the best out of it, not just
so
uh,
what's
for that.
so shout out to I Love Shaq, which is my wife from there. She said I think the question should have been asking what kind of lifestyle she wants or desire. What kind of lifestyle you want? You want to be able to like what do you want? What do you see yourself driving? What do you see yourself living in a trailer? I know you in Mississippi, right?
Yes.
You see yourself living in a single wide trailer or a single family home?
I see myself living in. I'm not gonna stay in Mississippi, but I plan to move out of Mississippi soon, or in a better community. Honestly, I used to live in Hattiesburg. It was very nice there, but I moved back because I lost my grandmother. But I really do like the scenery in Hattiesburg. There's way more to life than just being in Mississippi. So I want to get out and I want to, explore. I want to live life financially free. Um, I don't want to be bottled down with bills and everything, and the bills, the small amount of bills that I do have or create. I want to be able to take care of those without any problem. Um,
So where do you want to move to? You say you want to move out of Mississippi. Where you want to move to?
I have family in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm thinking about going up there. Well, it's en route actually for me to go and move up there with the rest of my family.
What's the cost of living in Cincinnati?
About 1,200 a month for some apartments. Apartments.
So the cost of living in Cincinnati should be what, 50,000? Need to be making need to
Oh
be
yeah,
making 50,000 or more.
yeah. That's not. I mean, that would be a problem
You said it
because
wouldn't be a problem, right?
no. Mm-mm.
So do you want to live in an apartment or a house? I mean,
I want to start off at an apartment and
you
take.
okay living in an apartment?
Yeah.
So okay, so
This is just me.
if it's just you, but we talking about if you with this man.
Oh, if I'm with a man, then of course I want to, home here.
So you want to live in a home,
Yeah.
and he can be working at Walmart, and you can be working as a teacher, making how much again?
I settled about 40, 41 down here, 41,000 a year down here.
Y'all plan on having kids?
No, I know. I mean, not wait. My wait. Yes, yes, of course. I thought you saw this specific. I was like, nah. But no, yes, of course. I plan on having kids.
So you plan on having kids, you want to live in a house, and he can work at Walmart. Y'all probably gonna struggle in Cincinnati, Ohio. One car or two cars?
Well, I mean, I hope he have a car. I got my own car, of
He got to have his own car, right?
course.
So this man working at Walmart and paying a car note, insurance, having to pay mortgage, lights, daycare. Your relationship, I don't think it's the number one. It may be number two or number three, but I think it's the top three. Finances is one of the top three reasons people get a divorce. You want to get married, or you good with just shacking up?
No, I want to get married.
Want to get married before kids, right? You don't have any kids now, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So you might want to change. You might want to try to elevate your thinking a little bit. Do you have any friends or family members that's in relationship,
Not that
married?
I mean, they're married, but not around my age. They're older. Like, no, not
And
really.
how are they doing? Good? Are they maintaining, or are they struggling?
Well, this one cousin that I know, she's doing pretty good.
I'm talking about couples,
Yeah, they're a couple. She's 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 married.
and they live in Mississippi.
Yeah,
They stay in an apartment or a house.
apartment. They stay in an apartment.
That ain't the lifestyle you want, right?
Oh, of course not.
You want to live in a house, so you gotta aim for a better man. You gotta aim for a man, and maybe he work in corporate America, maybe he be self-employed and entrepreneur. But Walmart, I would try to go for a guy that works in software development or something like that. I mean, you 25, right?
No, 22.
22. I'm sorry. You young. 22. You're in your young early 20s.
Hmm.
You may be able to pull it off. You might be able to find a guy if you keep yourself slim and what you got. You got your braces on right now, right?
Hmm.
You got your tattoos on your chest. Is that a Mississippi thing?
No, it's not. I just got this. I said I was gonna get it removed because it's not really professional, but not real.
Who you inspired by?
This?
Who you were inspired by? Is it Glorilla, Sexy Red, Cardi B?
No. No. No.
Who's your inspiration?
I don't really have one. I just like music, but not music on that level.
So what you listen to? That country twang?
No, I listen to R&B. R&B.
Who you
Pretty,
listen to?
Pretty Ricky, old school music.
Pretty Ricky.
Yeah. Oh.
Lord. So that's how you got finessed the first time. Listening to that Pretty Ricky, and he got up in your boots.
Wait. I had to learn it though. I'm glad that that happened because it taught me like, okay, I'm ready for whatever now.
So you still learning. So you you got your degree?
Yeah, I got a degree.
It was in education, right?
Hmm.
So you got a degree in education. You're a teacher. You don't see any other teachers, maybe male teachers that work in the schools that you might be attracted to.
I do, but I feel like dating at work is just not gonna work.
They network, yeah. But you date the Walmart guy.
No, no. I've never dated anybody at Walmart, but I was just saying like I'm not gonna be judgmental.
So let me ask you this: how close are you with your father?
I'm very close with him.
You're very close with him. You was raising a household with your mother and father. Oh, that's a first. You're the first one that we interviewed that had their mother and father in the same household. Well, that's good. So your father should be able. Your mother and father, they don't have any influence on your dating options.
No, not really.
You don't want them to have an influence on it either, right?
No,
Why not?
because honestly, their marriage is not, what I wanna. I don't know how to put this. Their marriage is not what I want. When I grow up to get to that point of being married. That's how
Why
I feel
not? Why
because
not?
it's a lot of toxic love. I don't like a lot
Okay.
of arguing and everything, nitpicking. I don't like that.
So
So
you
I
don't
don't.
want to argue when you get married,
No, no, not consistently.
just sometimes.
Man, if a problem comes
So,
about, I get upset. He may get upset. Yeah, of course. But, I want to be able
so,
to put it on the back burner and not get other people involved with it by doing that.
so what are the arguments around, if you don't mind me asking?
Like silly stuff like you left clothes in the you left clothes on the floor. Why you didn't pick this up or something like that? Anything just very small. I don't like petty arguments. I don't like petty disagreements. I don't like things of that nature. I just don't like the toxicity. I don't like that. I'd rather be alone than to deal with any, you know, arguing.
Is it the man, or is it the dad yelling at her to put her clothes up, or your
Mom,
mom yelling at him? Huh?
it's my mother.
So you don't want to yell at your man and make him pick up the clothes like your mama.
No.
That'll be easy. You'll have an easy breezy. A man leaving his socks and clothes everywhere, and you don't say nothing. You'll have a really good relationship. Trust me, you won't have any arguments.
See, okay.
But you probably want him to be considerate that you the one cleaning the house, right?
Hmm.
So most men are will they tend to do stuff like that. They tend to dirty up stuff. They have a habit of that. So you said you like to communicate things.
Hmm.
So maybe if you communicate them, is your mom communicating in a way where
No.
you know, oh, she just going at his neck, huh?
Hmm.
Well, then just don't go at his neck.
Yeah.
So that's how you fix that. But I wouldn't let arguments stop me from getting into marriage. You're gonna argue, it's inevitable. Everybody is different, everybody come from different backgrounds. It's inevitable that y'all gonna have disagreements. But you young, 22, I don't expect you to probably know these things because you don't allow your parents to have an influence on your relationship. if you allow your parents to have an influence on your dating options and your relationship, they can talk to you about these things. And the person that finessed you out of your box wouldn't have got away scot free. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have got in so easy because your daddy would have been there to muzzle that off. He would have been able to, use discernment to be like, oh yeah, he's just trying to get in your drawers. But you didn't use your option. You didn't use your fatherly option, did you?
No.
See, a lot of women, I don't even know if they realize the importance of having a father act as a filter for them, for men. So they kind of just try to move on their own. They don't want nobody over them making choices for them. I'm not saying let the man make choices for you, but let him have an influence on it so that you can, you know, not get hurt, not get heartbroken, and more importantly, not end up as a single mom. Because right now you don't want to have kids, do you?
No, not right now.
Why you don't want to have kids right now?
Because I don't have the right. I feel like I haven't met the right person to have, a child by.
So what do you think about the women that's having these children? Um, they just having kids and they not requiring anything, before they have these kids. They're not requiring marriage. They're not really sure. They're not really sure that their guy is the one for them, but they still letting them get the box. And
Um, I really don't know what to say about those women, but everybody is different. They deal with things that are the way they want to deal with it. And I just don't want to deal with that personally. If I can avoid it, I'm gonna avoid it by all costs.
so I gotta ask this last guy you was talking to, how long ago was that?
Um, about June, June. Let's stop talking
So
in
about
June.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
So was he your first?
No, of course not. My first, I was with my first in
Of
high
course
school.
not.
He's my third, but I was with
He's
my
your
first.
third.
Yeah, I was with my first boyfriend for a very long time. So we broke up around last year, September-ish. And then I stayed single from September to December, and I started talking to this guy um, in January. So, yeah.
So you say your first ended in December last year.
Yeah.
Your second, you started talking to him in January. When did
No,
that end?
no. That was me and my first boyfriend. We broke up, and then I had, intercourse with another dude. And then I stopped. We and him got back together. My first boyfriend, we got back together, and then some years passed. We was together for like 6 years. So, um, then I stayed single for a long time, and then I met this new guy, and we started talking in January of this year. And then he had been trying to talk to me ever since last year. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy a chance. So when we did start talking, he was very convincing. Of course, he was gonna be convincing to get what he wanted. And then we just linked up, and then we just went from there. We went out of town to NBA game, and then we made plans to like go out of town every weekend and hang out and get to know each other better. But eventually, all of that came to an end, and then we just stopped talking.
Oh, that's kind of weird. You just stopped talking.
Yeah, it was. I told him he was weird. He was a weirdo, but he, wouldn't say anything much. The conversation was like one sided. I was just talking to myself, so I just eventually fell back away from
So
him.
did any of these guys give? None of these guys gave you any indication that they were trying to commit to you.
Yeah, the first guy did, but I was a problem in my first what so felt real relationship. I was definitely a problem in that relationship
Why was you a problem?
because I was becoming my mom to him, and I would just be very cranky sometimes and not understanding, and I was not patient, and I saw no wrong in anything I was doing. I kind of blamed him for everything. If we had problems, I blamed him, but it was two sided. The problems were, but most of the time I was putting it all off on him, but I was the problem as well.
Did you talk to your parents about that? Did you get
Yes,
any?
yes, and I talked to some more of my family members about it. So I kind of just changed my thinking from that relationship. You know, seeing him get another girlfriend, whatever, be in a relationship, it doesn't bother me. I'm happy for him because at the time I wasn't ready for that kind of relationship. So I feel. So I just had to change my thinking because I didn't have
So did
the.
you break up with him or he broke up with you?
No, he definitely left me. He definitely left me. So. And I didn't. At the time, I did care about it, but I had other things going on. Like my grandmother had just died from COVID, and all of this was going on. So when he left, it was like pain on top of pain. But in those moments of him leaving me and then me losing my grandmother, I realized a lot, not only about relationships but about myself. So I thank God daily for that experience because I needed that to shape my thinking, into how I think today.
And how you think today?
I'm just I just am very easygoing. I go with the flow of things. I don't force things. I don't chase people. I don't do anything like that. I don't overplay my role at all. So and I feel
What,
like right now I
so
don't.
what does your role look like in a relationship?
My role in a relationship, if a guy comes off as um if a guy comes off as me as he want a relationship, I'm not gonna pursue it. Now I'm not gonna pursue it because that's not what my mind is on today. But um
So are you saying if a guy finds you attractive and want to get into a relationship with you, you say you're not going to pursue a relationship with him?
no, not right now.
And why's that?
Because I'm still working on me. I'm still working on myself, and I feel like I'm just not ready for a relationship yet mentally.
So you say you mentally you're not ready right now. So what are you doing to get mentally ready? You say you're not ready. You're working on yourself. What does that look like? What is that?
Um, it's writing my goals down. Excuse me, it's writing my goals down every day. Trying to see what I need to do to get here from point A to point B to accomplish my goals. That's what I'm about right now. Accomplishing my goals, creating the life I want for myself right now before I add anything.
So I get it. So you working on you so you can be independent.
Hmm.
You got your goals that you want to accomplish for yourself, for your life. Your goals and what you're working on doesn't intersect with your desired mate. Now you see that once you reach these goals, you might become even more incompatible
What do you mean?
because all the goals and all the time and work you're putting in is so that you can be single and comfortable, independent. Is that what you want?
I mean,
That's what you want right now, but I could tell you based on my experience in talking with women, once you guys get to a certain age, then it started to dawn in on you that well, that was a bad decision to make. Because then you start getting lonely, you start realizing maybe I should have worked on myself to be a suitable wife instead of an independent single woman. Or in extreme cases, an independent single mom. So, because you're still gonna have sex, right? Or no? I mean, I don't let me answer for you.
I mean,
While you're working on yourself to accomplish your goals so you can be independent, are you still gonna be having intercourse with men?
no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
So you celibate.
Uh, for now, I am.
And what's the lead singer from Pretty Ricky? What's his name? Is it
Uh,
Jeremiah?
I have no idea. I just like the songs.
If he came to you and was like, "Hey, look, let me take you out and let's Netflix and chill," what you gonna say?
I'll say no. No, thank you.
Okay. What's so funny?
I'm not going because the scenario is so funny to me. I would not go. I have.
All
I'm
right.
gonna say like I'm gonna be real. Like I have never lusted on a person except for one person that I saw that I just completely like, oh, I gotta have him. I only did that one time. I
Who
only
was
did
that? Who was that person?
that. He was an older guy. He was an older male.
So so let me ask you this: if you run into the guy, your desired mate,
Hmm.
he earns good money, like you stated, good money. He makes good money. He's single, you know, he's on his purpose. He's solidified in his career. He's taller than 6 foot. He's a Christian man. Um, you said you do 50-50, right?
Hmm.
And he's willing to meet all these things that you want. Are you telling me that you're not gonna pursue a relationship with him?
Oh yeah. I guess yeah. I guess it all just depends on the person, or what they what they have going. I'm not just gonna. A lot of people try to talk to me, and it's just draining to me, honestly,
Why?
because I don't know who to respond to. I never know who to respond to, who's serious. I never know. So I just
So you get that much traffic of a man coming to you where it's draining because you don't know who to respond to. You don't know who to take serious.
yes.
Is this just DMs or just walking up to you in person?
It's mostly DM, but it's in person as well. It's in person too.
What does your pictures look like on your DMs?
Um, I'm talking about on Snap mostly. I get a lot of messages on Snap and Facebook and
What does
Instagram.
those messages look like
Not as
that
much.
make it draining for you?
Um, hey, let me take you out. Let me take you out. Hey, can I come see you? Hey, can you pull up on me? Stuff like that from like 30 plus guys asking to pull up and let me see you. This that. I just don't like all that. When you gonna let me take you out? I thought
What
you
does
was
that sound? What does that mean? When you hear a man say, "Let me pull up, come see me, let me take you out," what indication do you get that? What intention do you think they're trying to persuade or
six.
portray?
Six.
Sex, right? So I think it's important for you to figure out why do men have a limited desire on you? I think it goes, what are you posting? How do you carry yourself to where men only see your box as an opportunity? I've seen your
I
Instagram.
mean, it's not that prerogative now.
What are you wearing?
It's not.
You know what you're wearing? You see what you're wearing on Instagram though, right?
That's just my birthday stuff. My birthday fits.
But all what was the rest of your pictures? There's nothing like really classy or ladylike.
The one I posted yesterday was.
Okay. But you can understand why guys are trying to come for you in your DMs. When you start posting yourself like that, do you expect guys to want to come with a ring or come with a thing? You gotta be honest with yourself.
I mean, what they not always talking about sex. They not. It's more than that. Just they say they like my hustle. They stand a third. They like how I dress. I don't always dress like that. I switch it up, but Instagram is
They like
not
the way you
my
dress, huh?
Instagram is not. I don't get many guys like that from Instagram. Definitely
Okay.
not. Just my snap.
All right.
I only post like there.
So all I can tell you is you say you single by
Mm-hmm.
choice, and you're trying to establish your goals so you can be independent. But if the dude that checks all the blocks happen to want to, pursue a relationship with you, you're willing to stop pursuing independence to be with this guy. Is that safe to say?
Mm-hmm.
So you're single. So that means that you're single because you haven't met your match. And you working on yourself and just hopefully this guy come around, So it's a way you can move to where you can speed up the time. or increase the chances of meeting this guy. Me personally, Mississippi, I don't. Mm. Do you travel?
No, but I'm gonna start.
I mean, like you don't travel. I'm talking about just within the United States.
Yeah, yeah,
I would get out of Mississippi, man. I've been in Mississippi before because I've lived in Alabama. Mississippi is the woods.
it is.
You probably getting bit by a mosquito right now, ain't you? No, I'm just kidding. But I would most definitely expand my range of men that I want to be exposed to, and I would most definitely try to target men that's in a higher tax bracket than the Walmart, um, to be able to get that guy that checks all those blocks. Do you go to church?
Yes,
How often do you go to church?
every other Sunday.
Do you see any men? Well, I know modern
No,
churches, Lord have mercy. Ain't no men in churches. They in there. They in the church, but they might be in the church. But I don't know, man. There's some guys, and most of the guys that's in the church that's single, they probably, I mean, most guys that's straight, and, got a straight head on their shoulder. And most of the time, those guys are already in the relationship, and now they just trying to find a relationship with God. So I don't know if church might be the,
yeah.
like I said, every church different. I don't know if church might be the way that you can, put yourself around this guy. But I would most definitely try to utilize, your best tool, and you know what that is, right?
What
It's
is my
not your
best
box.
tool?
It's not your box. It's your daddy. You said earlier you got an excellent relationship with your father, right?
Hmm.
If you called your father tonight, right now today, and said, "Hey, daddy, you know, I'm struggling finding the one. I'm struggling to find a relationship. I'm struggling to find love. Can you give me an advice?" Would he be able to sit down and give you some useful advice?
Yes,
So why don't you call your dad?
you know, I talk to him about it sometimes. He just tells me just be patient. Be patient.
That's all he said. Just be patient.
To sum it up, that's what he say. That's what I get from it. Yeah.
What if your dad was to find you a man? Would you be okay with that?
No, of course not.
Why not?
That would be so weird to me.
It'll be weird.
Hmm.
You realize back in the days, that's how everybody used to move. Some countries still do that. So let me get this straight. You think that you are better at finding the right man for yourself than your dad is?
No, I mean, I
Well,
just
why would it
want
be weird?
it to come naturally. I don't want to. I don't know. I know it's not just gonna fall out the sky, but my goodness, just I don't know. I don't want it to be like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know.
So let's flip it. Would you be okay with your mother finding a man for you?
No.
Why not? Would that be weird?
Yes, I feel like just okay. If she met like a nice, nice young man or whatever, and she's like, oh, I should introduce you to my daughter. You mean like that? I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. And for
But
my daughter,
not if your father said, "Oh, this is a nice young man. Let me introduce him to my daughter." That would be weird.
no, it wouldn't be. No.
Okay, so now we're getting a better understand. See, I see what you like to say stuff, but then if I dig a little deeper, I can get the truth of what you really mean. So it's not really weird. It's
No.
just it wasn't enough context on the question I was asking you. So you okay if your father was to meet a young man out there that he think might be suitable for his daughter, and it's okay for him to introduce y'all to, right?
Yeah.
And it would be okay for your mother to do the same.
Yeah, that would be fine.
So would it be a problem if you was to contact your mother and your father? Not right now, I'm just saying in the future. and ask them, say, hey, mom and dad, I'm young. I wouldn't ask you to do this if you was in your 30s. You know, that would be really hard to do. If you was in your 30s, 35, you should be able to kind of figure it out yourself. But because you're 22 years old, would it be a problem for you to say, hey, mom, dad, can we sit down and talk one day? And maybe y'all can, recommend somebody for me to date or recommend somebody for me to, be a suitable wife to in the future? Would you be inclined to do that?
I would.
You would.
Hmm.
Have you ever thought of that?
No,
Never thought of it. Why haven't you thought about it?
I didn't know. I just didn't
And
think.
you know what? And you're right. It's not even your fault. It's your parents' fault. It's your parents' fault because that's a big problem in today's society. A lot of these young girls and young men out here, specifically young women, don't know that they can use their parents as a resource to ease their dating experiences. And then another thing is, another huge issue is oftentimes the mother and father are not even together to even have you sit down with them together. But even if they're not living together, it's still an option to get both of them together. So, for example, if me and my wife separated, my son's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, or my daughter's 22 years old, and she wants to sit down with me and their mother, her mother, and get some recommendation on dating. I wouldn't mind going to go link up and go out to dinner and see the daughter, and we sit down together and have a conversation about what you want, you know, because a lot of the things that you see in relationships it probably bleed in from the relationship you see with your mother and father have their marriage. Like you already said, some of the issues even bleed into your dating preferences. With the cleaning up stuff around the laundry room or whatever, leaving the clothes, and yelling and arguing. But those are the issues. So who's to say that the good things don't bleed in too? So that's why it's important to know, like, hey, look, what I'm saying, what's your relationship dynamics? Like, how do y'all mesh? How are y'all able to be? How long they been married?
Like 27 years.
27 years. You're sitting on a gold. You're sitting on a resource as a gold mine as a resource for dating. Your mother and father been married for 27 years, and you out here having dating issues. Most people that's having dating issues, their parents has been broken up probably since they was a child, and they don't have a father and mother to go to for dating advice because the mother and father aren't doing well in dating themselves. But the fact that you got a mother and father of representation from the household that you came from, I recommend you use that resource. I recommend you use that resource. All I can tell you is I can tell you where your issue is at with as far as compatibility for the guy you want. But I'm starting to get an understanding you don't really know the guy you want. You don't even like you're saying that he can work in Walmart, just gotta have a good job. You really don't have any clear example of the guy you really want to be with. Yeah, his height. Well, where does he work at? What is his communication skills? His background. He's a Christian. Like, there's more. There's a lot more. You're 22. You're gonna find out there's a lot more than just that. So and you got these deal breakers. These deal breakers come from the previous man you was with, right?
Hmm.
Before you got in that relationship, you didn't have any deal breakers, right?
Not
You
really.
didn't know. You didn't know how to look for deal breakers because you never been offended. You never been wrong. So what you got to do is moving forward. What happens is a lot of women are at their breaking point. A breaking point is a place you get. A it's a state of mind. Your emotions. What you're willing to tolerate. You're at your breaking point whenever you get out of a relationship that you've been wrong or you know, you've been cheated on. You know what I'm saying? You've been hurt. So now you're at your breaking point and you go into the next relationship. You're still at your breaking point. So you have full tolerance going in that previous relationship. And once you get out of that relationship, you go this way. You reach your breaking point. And now you go out in the dating market, you're still at your breaking point. So now you're like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. What you got to do is you try to get therapy or try to talk to somebody, even talk to your parents to try to get back to that tolerance level. So that you can allow people to you can give grace to people. You can give people a benefit of the doubt. So what you don't want to do is you start recognizing things traumatic that happened to you in your last relationship with the issues you had in your relationship. You start recognizing those things in the guy that you're dating, and he don't know that these things might be an issue for you. So you just immediately anticipate him to be a bad person because he's showing signs, or what they call it, red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the red flags that you've seen in the previous relationship. So now you're putting this impression on this. You painting this dude with the paintbrush. You painting. Basically, you're thinking this guy is going to do the same thing the previous guy did. So what you want to do is you want to get an ease of mind and assure that these things ain't going to happen. In the way you do that, you can go to get therapy if you want to. You can go get therapy. So you can so you can elevate your tolerance, so you can get that tolerance back, so you can be able to give guys grace again. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, if your boyfriend cheated on you, or he was talking to other women, I think you said texting other women, that's a pet peeve or something. Um, you might get into a relationship with a guy where he's texting other women, but those women might not necessarily be a threat to your relationship. It might be a friend. It might be a high school friend. It might be somebody he worked with that he's always text. I've seen so many relationships, and I've been in relationships where women don't like you to text the opposite sex at all. They don't even want you to be friends with the opposite sex. It's an insecurity. I don't know if you have that insecurity, do you?
I used to, definitely.
And why? Because you thought she was a threat to your relationship, right?
I mean, I didn't want him to get his energy, or I didn't want the guy. I was younger, and I didn't want the guy to have any girlfriends.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what if it's somebody he's just cool with, that childhood friend? Like, I got a sister-in-law that has a childhood male friend that she's always talked to, and it was always cool.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that now. I'm
But you
not,
used to have a problem with it, though, right?
but not
So
anymore.
now you see. So that's why you got to communicate these things. You get in a relationship like, hey, look, man, hey, I had an experience where, for example, the dude I was talking to had a childhood friend and they end up making out. That scares me. So if you have any female friends, and then I see that you got a female friend, maybe you could compromise. Maybe you could cut her off or not be so engaged with her. That's gonna be kind of hard though, because it's hard to tell somebody to stop being friends with their friends just to get in a relationship with you, especially if y'all just starting to date. So you may have to be flexible with that and try to understand, okay, what is your relation like? Why are y'all cool? And try to see if you can deal with it. If you can deal with it, then cool. If not, then that's an incompatibility issue. A man being a Christian, he might want you to not work. A lot of times these Christian men want a woman to be a homemaker. You know what a homemaker is, right?
Hmm.
What is a homemaker then?
Um, Stay at home mom,
There you
wife.
go. You can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you just went to school and got a degree. You put all that time and now you got all these aspirations, these goals, just to throw it away. You willing to do that?
I mean,
You work.
I have to do something now. I just can't just sit at home and do nothing. But I mean, I can see myself being at home every day, but I just like to
Oh no,
keep.
you ain't gonna sit at home and do nothing.
I know I'm gonna keep the house. I know I'm gonna keep the house up, cook, clean, everything like that.
This man gonna want to have kids. You're gonna have to change diapers. You're gonna have to feed these kids. You're gonna have to nurture.
Oh yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
So can you imagine You've got a degree.
Hmm.
You got a career as a teacher. What
Hmm.
level do you teach? What grade do you teach?
It's early. It's early childhood. Early
Where
childhood.
where's that at? You teach at a
Um,
daycare center or something?
no, it's Head Start. It's a Head Start. Head
Okay.
I can only work with younger children, younger babies with my degree. It's early childhood education degree.
Okay. So you gotta get more credentials so you can work with high school students and all that
Yes,
other stuff. All right.
more school.
And then you said you got goals. Do you already have the goals?
Yeah, of course.
So what are your goals?
My goals are to move from Mississippi, move out of Mississippi. I must say though, my goals don't surround a man, but I want to become a certified phlebotomist. That's one of my goals, and I want to one day eventually have my own daycare. And I can't do that at home, so I don't know.
So you want to own your own daycare. You want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and
So you want to own your own business.
yeah,
But you want a Christian man.
that is what I just said. I don't know
Because
about can't
because
do that at home.
you owning your own daycare center. That sound like one of your dreams, right?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest dreams.
So a Christian man require their women to support them in their dreams and their goals
Hmm.
and be submissive and cooperative. Those things right there are going to be a confliction. He's going to have dreams and goals that he wants you to support. So
So
are
it's
you willing to?
not
Are
vice
you,
versa. It's not going to be vice versa at all.
huh?
It's not vice versa at all. Like the Christian man doesn't support the woman at all.
The Christian man supports you, but he's going to support you. He's going to give you a household. He's going to give you children. He's going to give you resources. He's going to give you protection, and he may work until he kill over and leave you with all of his inherit and leave you with everything he worked for. I mean, that's your traditional way.
Hmm.
I mean, if he's a Christian man,
Hmm.
like you said, you wanted him to be a Christian, right?
Yeah.
So your dreams and goals should be in support of his. Your dreams and goals need to be his dreams and goals. Or maybe you can be flexible with your religious preference and maybe find somebody who's okay with, equally having their own dreams and goals. Like you having your own dreams and goals and he having his own dreams and goals.
Okay.
I mean, you ain't gotta agree. If they, I mean, I don't want to persuade you not to date a Christian man if you don't want to date a Christian man. This guy might be a Muslim. This man might even be. He might be not non-denomination, but he might not even have a religious background. Like he might not believe in God, or he might believe in God. He might just not be a Christian.
Okay.
And some of these guys are willing to go 50-50, and you have your career, I have my career. We meet in the middle. You have your dreams and goals, and we meet in the middle. Maybe that's what you should go for. But you got to decide whether you want to cut the Christian man out.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So, so you say you have some strong. As I remember earlier, you say you got some opinions about relationships. Do you have any more you want to talk about?
Um, no, not really. Not really. I just, I feel I haven't, relationships may not be the way that I stated in the beginning. It may just be that I haven't found the right person yet. And I feel like solely that's what it is. I haven't just found my person yet. So, but at the same time, I'm not looking. I'm not out here looking, or I'm not trying to consider dating right now at this time. But I don't feel safe when it comes to that anymore. I don't want to just give my body to a person. So I don't
Well, you can, yeah. And when you say give your body, what do you mean?
I don't just want sex with a person. I don't want to experience like their last experience unless it's just somebody that I actually just But like I said, I listen to the phone, so I won't. But
Okay. So now that you got this advice from me, and you got these recommendations from me, what's gonna put the cherry on the icing or the icing on the cake, whatever you want to twist, whatever way you want to flip it. Now you should do what? What you should do next? We talked about it.
work on being a better person for. I don't know what to say.
No, you who you are.
Okay, so what are you? Which part are you
You don't
talking?
remember the conversation we had about your parents?
Oh yeah, talking to them about it. Yeah,
You might need to write that down. I do not want that to slip your mind.
I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget though. You're right. You're absolutely right. I need to talk to them.
Your
But
parents, your
they
parents know you better than anybody else in the world. They raised you. They're gonna be able to tell you things that I can't tell you, like, oh, she's not really good at that. She's not really good at that. That's not gonna work for her. Like stuff like that, because they know you.
I had I told them about this last guy, and they told me no. They was like no.
Oh, wait. So you did speak to your parents about relationships.
Yes, about him. Yes, when my mom met him, she just like no, not gonna work. That's what she said.
Why did she say that?
First, I told her that we had the same birthday and everything. So she was, and then she just looked at him.
Y'all had the same birthday.
Yeah.
You really need to talk to your parents, woman. Because if you get in relationships because y'all got the same birthday, well, you
No,
better
no,
get.
no, no. I didn't get in a relationship because we had the same birthday. That's why she said that it wasn't
You
gonna
were
be.
gonna consider getting in a relationship with him. Would you talk to your parents too about him?
No, not because we had the same birthday though. I just told her that I was just telling her some things about him and me, whatever she already know about me. But I was telling her about him and everything, and she was just like, "Nah, just don't worry about that." She was trying. They did tell me, and my dad even said it too at the same time. My dad said it too. She was supposed to take me out one night to go see a movie, and he didn't come. My dad was like, "He ain't no good. Don't worry about it." And I'm like,
Oh,
"What?"
because he didn't. He stood you up, so your dad said he ain't no good.
Yeah.
That's right. Why did the guy stand you up? Did you call him and ask him why he stood you up?
No, I just texted him and said, "Where are you? Are you coming tonight?" And then he kept on acting like it was me not wanting to go, whatever.
Hmm. Well, there's always two sides to the story. So because you don't sound really sure about what happened, you're not really explaining what happened. I've got to I got to lean on it. Maybe he was right in some cases. Maybe you didn't want to go. Did you not want to go?
I did. I was waiting for him.
So why did he think didn't want to go?
I think he had other plans. I think he had other
He
plans.
thought you didn't want to go because he had other plans.
I mean, the guy was a weirdo. Like he was giving me all kind of mixed signals, and he was saying, "Hey, I'm on the way," and then boom, no, I got something else to do, or I'm coming later on, or something like that. It was weird.
Okay, well in that case, then your father was right. The guy was no good. He didn't think he didn't prioritize your time. He didn't appreciate the time you had allotted for him. So yeah, when guys are doing that, then that's a red flag. That's understandable. And you communicating these things, you giving you mixed signals. Yeah, those are things that are acceptable to not tolerate. Especially whenever you're talking about it and you're communicating these things. So yeah, kudos to your mom and dad. But how long ago was that?
The well, that situation was in February.
Okay, so they recently, I guess you could say, so they recently gave you some dating advice.
Yeah, you can say that.
All right, so you stated that it was weird to go to your dad for dating advice earlier. Now that you had this conversation with me, do you feel like it's weird now?
No,
Great. And that's what we want to do here. We want to kind of not change your mentality, but allow you to change it by just giving you more context and more clarity on why, you know, the alternative might be a better option, or, you know what I'm saying? It might not be nothing wrong with going to your mom and dad to get dating advice. Being that you're 22 years old. 22, man, I can't tell you how I was dating. I went in my early 20s. My God. I mean, I was looking for love, but I just didn't know. I was reckless because I didn't even know, like, I didn't have a representation of what, like you do. I didn't have the gold mine resource of having two parents who's been married for over 25 years. I was just moving reckless. You know, I didn't know how to be in a relationship. You know, I didn't know what love is. I didn't know how to look for it. I didn't know how to pursue a woman. I knew how to get those cheeks, though. That's about it. I didn't know if there was anything else I needed to be looking for. So when I got tired of the cheeks, whew, or whenever she used the cheeks as a weapon, she weaponized it against me to say, "Oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that." Then I was on to the next. So yeah, so watch out for those guys. So my recommendation is to use, because you have a resource, you want to try to find a man who also has that resource. Because you know the beauty of that is, if you got two parents, if you got a mom and dad that's been together for 25 years, or married, still married or whatever, and you meet a guy, you know, he checked the blocks and he's got a mom and dad that's been married. Those two couples can come talk to each other about y'all too. That probably never it probably rarely happens today in society. It happens, but I don't, you know, we live in a country where there's a fatherless crisis. So things like that happen probably on a slim, you know, probably rarely happen. You know, I don't have a statistic, but I'm gonna stand on it. They probably don't happen. So the fact that you have that resources, I would use it. But I don't want to kind of I don't want to drill down on it too much. But do you got any questions for me? I can't hear you. I think your audio went out. Can't hear you. I can't hear anything. Mississippi Public Schools. Can you? I I still can't hear you. Something happened with your mic. So what? So try this. Try to leave. Try to leave the studio and come back in. Yeah, yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to do is just trying to pick her brain to figure out if she actually gonna follow up with this stuff. But I think she might. 22 years. She's hearing this now. This gonna come back to her. This gonna come back to her, and she might not be a statistic. She might be able to prevent herself from becoming a single mom too. She gonna have to use her resource of talking to her mom and dad. What up, Terica Smith? What up? What up? Logic in the building. Working at Walmart. She's 22. She's young and still learning. That's why you. That's why you go to prove a person. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know what's going on with her. She got some audio issues right now. But basically, what I'm trying to do, and my goal here moving forward is to, you know, here she goes. She came back. She just came back. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So, do you got any questions for me? You can ask
No.
me anything. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
No.
What do you think I should do moving forward?
Okay, what I think you should do moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
I think you should go and talk, have that conversation with your parents together, mother and father.
Okay.
I think you should tell them that Tell them precisely what you struggle with man, and how to use discernment so that it don't happen again. And they're gonna give you the best experience. You know, they've been married for 25 years. You also is also important for you to learn how to communicate within a relationship when things don't go your way. So I ask them, hey, look, what do y'all do whenever y'all arguing and things don't go your way and y'all want to move past it? What are some, some things I can do as a woman to give my man an ease of mind that, hey, look, I'm not gonna just be nagging and complaining and pushing back all the time, but I just want, you know, I just want to make ends meet with you. I want to just fix things. So I ask questions like that. And also ask them, because they know the area, they know the demographics of Mississippi better than me. Ask them where, if you're looking for a certain type of man, and you know what I'm saying, you want to be, first start in reverse. Start where your goal, and then try to work your way back. Tell them, hey, look, I see myself living in Cincinnati, or I see myself living in a nice city, in a big house or a single family home, where a man who has a really good job, and I want to have kids. Where do I go from there? Like, how do I position myself to make that happen? And just tell them you're serious about it. And they'll be like, they're probably gonna be shocked that you coming in with that, but they're gonna be happy. They're like, damn, my daughter really trying to do it the right way. Are they Christians?
Mm-hmm.
And they Christians too. Tell them you want a Christian man. Tell them you want a man to be a Christian. And that's where I would go from here. The height thing, you can do 6 foot or more. That's cool. But I would be flexible. I know you want a taller guy. I would just go taller than myself.
Okay.
But what made you what's so attractive about the 6 foot guy?
I just don't want anybody shorter than me. That's all. They don't necessarily.
He's 5'6", so 5'8", 5'9" wouldn't be a problem with it.
No.
There you go. So that right there is going to keep you from limiting your options,
Okay.
because you prefer men who are above average height. Average height is at 5'9". You know, it can limit your available options for the man you get to choose from. Your desired man might have every block check, but he's 5'8". Come on, really? You ain't gonna turn that down, right?
No.
Tell him to wear Timberlands all the time. Or, they got surgery now. They got surgery where they can make the legs longer.
Really?
All right. So yeah, don't do OnlyFans if you can manage. So now you got to cancel your account, right?
No, I don't.
Don't do OnlyFans. Try to stay off of the pole, and if you can, keep yourself in shape. You look like you played track or something, did track or something like that. But try to stay in shape. Try to stay slim. If somebody tell you need to get your breasts did and BBLs, no, you look fine how you are. You do not need to go and get all those cosmetics and cheekbones and all this other stuff and Botox. You don't got to do that. A man is gonna love you how you are. You just got one thing: just maintain your health and your fitness, your physical, your height and weight. Well, you can height. Just maintain your weight. Don't eat yourself to oblivion. And just talk to your parents. You're 22 years old, so it's really not. You really still got a fresh start. I know you got a few bodies on you. What you got? Like you said, 4 bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You got about 4 bodies on you. If you be honest, might have more than that.
I don't.
Okay, so you got a body count of 4. You cool. You 22 with a body count of 4. When did you lose your virginity?
Like 17.
17. Lord have mercy. A Christian couple been married for 25 years, got a 17-year-old and lost it. Terica Smith says she's 5'2". She prefer her man to be 5'10" plus. That's cool. So yeah, so try to maintain the purity you got left, and allow your parents to guide you.
Okay.
All right. And people, I'm gonna tell you another thing. The circle you run in, you got a lot of homegirls that out there busting it open on it.
No, I
You
got
from Mississippi? I know how y'all Mississippi girls roll.
I got one friend.
She in a relationship? She single?
No, yes,
She trying to get in a relationship? She trying to get a husband?
yes, she's trying to get a relationship.
Y'all go to the club?
Sometimes
And ain't gonna find it there. You just gonna find another body there.
we don't go too often. We just been only a couple times, only on special occasions.
Yeah, special occasion. All it takes is on one special occasion. That's an extra body. You drink?
Mm, I do drink, but I know my limits, so I'm
Do you
not a drunk. I'm
do you
not a
smoke?
no.
Okay. So no. So I mean, I can't tell you not to drink or smoke. That's on you. But I can tell you right now that you'd be way more attractive to a man if you didn't drink or smoke. So if you want to elevate your attraction, there's a quick hack. What they call it, a hack these days? That's a hack. So yeah, I mean, those are my recommendations right there. Be flexible on the height. Be open, religious with your religious preferences. Uh, aim for men who earn the average income or better. I would aim for better if you can, because you're young. You have the ability to be able to do that versus somebody who's 35, 40 years old. You're 22 years old. You probably don't even you probably can't imagine the type of guys. If you keep yourself up, you know keep yourself in shape, you can attract some guys that will fit the deal. So yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's all I have.
All right. All right. So I appreciate you pulling up. Send me your email. I'm starting a Facebook group for everybody that I bring on the show so that we can share resources, communicate, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Okay,
And just send me your email. And I appreciate you pulling up. What you said your name was again?
Kiara.
Kiara? Kiara. Pretty CEO HBB. Kiara. Kiara. All right, Kiara. All right. That's Kiara, y'all.
All right.
Appreciate you. All right. So hope y'all enjoyed the show. This is a new model I'm using right now to try to understand people that the women that are coming on. It's gonna be work in progress. I'm not already got it down perfect, but I have a really, really good understanding on how this stuff works as far as compatibility. So I'm gonna be trying to provide services and try to provide help and try to fix this stuff. So y'all let me know if y'all want to. I got the link in the description if y'all want to book. I have free and I have consultations that cost. The ones that cost a little bit more strategic, a little bit more detailed, and they have the optimization included in it. So I'm not going to go into detail on that. I will be making videos that I'm going to be releasing in the future. That'll give you some of the things or some of the services that we provide and the problems that they can fix, the issues that they can remove to make you more compatible for the person that you desire. So the thing is, I'm not trying to help you be compatible for men, period. But I'm trying to get you to be compatible for the guy you desire because that's the issue. That's where the disconnect. A lot of women want this specific man, but they're not compatible with him. So the goal, the plan is to try to meet compatibility. It's try to figure out what issues are keeping you from being compatible and remove those issues by using the services that we provide. And one of the key services is actually going to a therapist to try to remove the breaking point. The breaking point is a place you get to where you do not want to tolerate anything from the next man or any man you get in a relationship with. You have a very, very low tolerance for anything. And it's keeping you single and it's keeping you from being compatible with any man, let alone the one you desire. So you gotta increase your tolerance, open up more grace, and then communicate the things that you're insecure about. Communicate the things that or deal breakers for you. Communicate the must-haves, that you want in a relationship. Communicate those things. Communicate the physical. Well, actually understand and embrace the physical attributes that you want out of this man, that you want him to have. You know, the communication dynamics you want to have. You know, do you want a man that's religious? Do you want a man that's already financially stable? Or are you okay with dating a man that's not financially stable, but he's on his way to it? Like there's so many different men out here and there's so many women that have a desired mate that you would be surprised. It's okay with a deal with a man who's trying to grind to get to that point. But we always hear that they want the man to already be a millionaire in most cases, 6 figures or better, financially stable. And then we gotta ask, like, what are you? Like, what do you have? Are you financially stable? If you're not financially stable, you need to bring something to the table if not financially, you know what I'm saying, stable. You know? So you gotta ask yourself these days, you know, how critical is your desired mate for balance his personal life and work? I see a lot of relationships where men and women get in relationships where there's a work-life balance issue. But you want this man to make all this money and you want him to balance his personal life and work. It just don't work like that. And then you don't want to provide any resources. You want a traditional relationship. It's kind of hard to ask for that because men find it difficult to balance work and personal life, especially when they're the sole financial providers of the household. So what do? You don't have to, you know, date them. But if you decide to date them, you got to embrace the fact that some nights your partner may not come home on time. He might come home late, or he might not have enough energy in most cases to spend time with you on special occasions because he's burnt out from working and providing. So you got to consider all these things whenever you want this guy to be this guy. But that's enough for today. We got another one we're going to be shooting for tomorrow. I think around the same time. I think we was late today, but we're going to have another live tomorrow. I think around 11 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, one of those times. So I'll make sure I put out everything ahead of time to try to get everybody in here. All right. Well, y'all take it easy.